Good morning, everyone. We had 4 or 5 inches of snow and some cold weather over the weekend. It's thawing out now. It's gonna be nice today, so we're gonna try to get some more work done. What are you barking at? It's always gotta be about you guys, huh? Quick chicken update this morning. Egg laying has really picked up. I think the longer days and some warm days as well has helped. We've had a max of 8 eggs so far one day. We have 13 chickens, so at some point in the next month, I'd say we'll have 13 eggs in to pick up in one day. They're all standing here squawking at me like they want something, but I do not speak chicken, so if anyone can translate, that'd be great. Surprisingly, the chicken coop has been a very fulfilling project for the wife, the boys, and I. It's not finalized. We're gonna move some things around. She wants to build a garden outdoors. I'm not sure that we've explicitly expressed it, but we like to be outside more in the summer, spend less time inside. It's kind of ironic because I work outside all day, so when I'm done working, I want to be inside. The kids and her, though, they spend a lot of time inside, so when I'm home, they want to come outside. Duality there. Maybe I need to put on some sunscreen or something, make being outside a little more enjoyable. Between us being too busy hauling grain and the ground not being fit to go out and finish mapping our fields, I thought after the snow melted off yesterday, it was dry before, maybe it'd be dry enough to go finish. And I learned very quickly the first field that ground's gonna need a few days to be solid enough. I mean, I could have mudded it in, it just didn't seem that enjoyable, and my window was completely covered in dirt and mud I could hardly see. We will postpone that project until Mother Nature dries the ground up a little bit more. Won't take long with highs in the 60s this week and not a lot of rain in the forecast.
Can I go to work with you, boss? I don't have anything to do here.
My uncle's Western Star is for sale if anyone's in the market. No, this is not a farm truck. People always see it and wonder if we use it. It's not ours, it's my uncle's. He was an over-road truck driver for years. He's sold out and he's working locally now. Last week's beautiful weather allowed us to finish off our small bin side over to the west. We had 2 small bean bins that last year gave us some trouble with quality. This year everything looked great. We dropped the conveyor off here at home waiting to see what the weather does. I'm gonna get the corn planter out today and then finish mapping if the ground allows it, and eventually we'll get back to trucking. My favorite thing to do is just start everything at once and let them all warm up in harmony, because it just sounds great. Doesn't smell as good as it used to 15 years ago when you didn't have all this emission stuff, but it's still worth something. Okay, we cleared the log jam. Now we just need to run up the road and get Dad's 8R340 to hook on to the ExactEmerge corn planter. There she is, the 8R340. If my old man can drive this with a gimp arm, surely I can figure it out with 2 functioning hands. Okay, as long as we do not go backwards, we should be all right. Of course, it's got a software update. Park off, no neutral. Hold the button. Forward. Why do I have my foot on the clutch? That's gonna be a hard habit to break. Oh, jeez. This is gonna take a lot of getting used to, folks. Okay, at a half a mile an hour, we should be back to the planter by lunchtime. Deere needs to put together some kind of continued education course for this tractor and the Command Pro IVT. This is very confusing. I said the fit was complicated. This is probably the same beast. Well, we made it. There's still a little bit of learning to be done with that transmission system. Hooking this planter up is somewhat similar to the DB60 we hooked up the other day. Main difference is just that this is a 2-point planter, not a drawbar, so we just got to back in, grab that. Have to do our standard generator stuff, get our maintenance out of the way, grab this, and then we might go ahead and put the delivery brushes and the corn plates in, because it is going to be nice outside today. The planters usually aren't put away ready to go. We take them apart because some things don't overwinter well in the units. Unlike the field cultivators, where other than airing up tires, I'm pretty sure we did all the legwork last summer in the nice 90-degree weather, so that this spring, all we gotta do is back up to them, hook them up, and pull them straight out to the field and run. For those who are wondering, the DB60 is still in an Alliance tractor. They're finishing up the warranty work, and they did end up getting that axle fixed. They weren't able to plane it. It's disassembled right now. They took it to a machine shop. They cut the plate off and re-welded it on flat or put a different plate on. I don't know. Above my pay grade. Either way, it should be coming back to us soon. As always, start with the generator. Usually break the temperature sensor. That's just part of the process. Gotta grease the splines in the generator so it stays lubricated and doesn't fall apart. The last 2 or 3 years in a row, I've managed to bend this sensor every time. So I've tried to take extra caution to not do that, yet it always happens. They should have put some kind of protective housing around it or something. Chris, you wanna go put this tube against that west wall somewhere, just up against the beam, like halfway up or something? So far, so good. Even has a PTO cover on it. That's surprising. I mean, you can throw it in the toolbox, we probably won't use it again. If it comes off, I'm blaming you, Chris. That's what over looks like.
Yeah. Then you had the straps up. Who's calling me? Chicago, Illinois, you know anybody?
I'm sure it's important. Important people in Chicago.
Maybe it's the governor calling me, wanting to know my opinion about himself. Now, when you need to leave some slacks for when you go up, don't you?
Well, yeah, but when you go up,
you're gonna have slack.
That'll make slack. When you go up,
okay,
the line should be. I'm pretty sure we always go under with these, and then I think we'd go over with the electrics, but I don't think it really matters. I'm gonna turn this on, pick it up. Your job is to yell if you see any of these lines pop off for sure.
Okay. you hear that story about the guy bet 50,000 in Vegas that there'd be a streaker, and then he went and streaked on the field? Won $300,000. It was on the radio yesterday morning. I forgot to tell you.
Okay, we got the planter drug out of the barn. Seems to be a little bit of fitment issues with the planter tractor now being about 6 years newer than the planter. A couple of the plugs just don't match up, and then we've got a bad frame pressure fitting that's under warranty because the tractor's new enough. So probably gonna have to get those fixed, and then we might go ahead and start putting the units together now. Tractor's doing a software update. Hopefully that'll help the tractor play nicely with the planter, because once they start getting a few years apart, the technology doesn't always seem to match up that well. John Deere really oversells the time on these updates. It said it was going to be 20 minutes, and then about 3 minutes later it's done. Can't complain. This is the one thing I was afraid of from a software standpoint. Because the planter isn't new enough, it runs off of the ISOBus VT. It doesn't have this nice Gen 4 integration that my DB60 I run has that pull up here. Dad, to run everything on the planter, is going to have to go to the ISO page, and then he's going to have to flip through either the planter fold module or the actual unit module. So it's going to look very similar to the old tractor in the 2630 display. Still better than nothing, but I was really hoping it'd be fully integrated, not kind of halfway integrated like we're going to deal with here. We've got the planter hooked up, which is about half the battle. Now we got to put all the delivery brushes and plates in, take them out for the winter to remove tension off of these drive belts so they last longer, and to keep mice out of them. So just got to pop them in, and then it's almost ready to go. Dad's going to work on fixing a few of those things up front. Chris, Jeff, and I got all the plates and brushes in, so it's almost ready to plant. I was going to give you guys a quick rundown for those who've forgotten how this thing operates. Seed goes in the tank. Pressurized delivery fans deliver seed through these lines here to each unit. Once it gets above the vent mark, the pressure kind of cuts off so the seed stops filling. That's why you don't want to have the fan on and the lid open, because it'll fill all the lines full. It comes into the unit here, a vacuum which is drawn from this hose, and then 2 vacuums on each side of the planter, pulls the seeds against the plate. The plate is driven by an electric motor. The combination of the vacuum pulling it in and parts on the inside that knock extra seeds off and an electric motor actuate the population as it comes around. So depending on your GPS ground speed determines how fast it needs to spin to hit target population. Once it's done that, the seeds fall off individually as they go around onto the delivery brush. The delivery brush, which is right there, drops it down to the ground according to the GPS speed again, so it drops it exactly where it needs to. This brush part, other than some changes in the row unit 2, are the main difference between an ExactEmerge planter and then the MaxEmerge planter like our DB60 is. It's pretty much just the electrically driven plates. There's no delivery brush, so once it falls off the plate down the seed tube, it's kind of just a crapshoot where it's going to go. With corn, spacing seems to be very important, so people invest a lot of money in these ExactEmerge. Soybeans is more of a controlled spill. Some people have ExactEmerge soybean planters. We just have not invested that kind of money yet in it. One might argue that the most important feature that newer planters built within the last 5 to 10, maybe 15 years if you're on the cutting edge, have is individual hydraulic downforce on each row. It doesn't matter how fast these units are capable of planting if the unit actually can't stay firmly pressed against the ground. Historically, planters use springs or airbags. Now they have active individual hydraulic downforce that can sense the pressure in milliseconds, make immediate responses, and adapt to ground conditions at high speeds to make sure that you can plant fast and do a good job. Because if it's putting out an accurate population but the unit's hopping out of the ground, you're kind of defeating the point anyways. you need to have good ground contact along with good singulation and seed spacing. Did notice something on the right side of the planter. Looks like we might need a new gauge wheel. Don't know what the boss hit. We got a little chunk missing there. Probably could run it like that. Just, you got the planter putting in the large value worth of crop. Might as well fix everything you know about that's not working. It's been an absolutely gorgeous day to be outside working on equipment. Almost 60 degrees, clear skies, sun shining, bit of a breeze. Hard to complain with this kind of weather for this time of year. Still waiting on Dad to bring the appropriate fittings for the back of the 8R340. He brought some, they weren't right, he went off to get more. I've been in and out a few different pieces of equipment, working on GPS stuff, mounting brackets, whatever. Not really that exciting stuff. Probably gonna go ahead and back the tractors in, leave the planter out, and then maybe tomorrow I can service the Hagee. Spent a few minutes in the cab with the key on, installing the second extended monitor for Dad, and I went to start the tractor. The key's been on for probably 10 minutes. And it's acting like it's not got enough juice to start.
No, that's a buzzard. Hope he ain't circling around me.
He's been coming around here. He must see something juicy. Just finished the process of taking the 3-point top hitch off of the 2-point quick connector. Probably wasn't in the way, but Dad thought it should get out just so it doesn't accidentally grab a hose or something, just more of a preventative maintenance type deal. Took it off, wasn't that hard. Since this is a 2-point planter, you obviously have to have the hitch there. The DB60 is a drawbar planter, so we completely took the actual quick hitch off, and that's a lot easier to hook up with. We got everything put back together for the day. Oh, where Dad's going with the planter. I'm gonna pull the Hagee in for now and then probably service it first thing tomorrow. Today's video is brought to you by our friends at BetterHelp. In today's day and age, poor mental health is becoming a crisis around the world. Unfortunately, farmers are not safe from this pandemic. Actually, the statistics are shocking that farmers as an occupation group have some of the poorest outcomes in terms of mental health and subsequent issues within their population. Because of this, to put it simply, we are losing more farmers than we should day in and day out. Sons, daughters, uncles, aunts, brothers, sisters, moms, dads, all of these people are suffering in the current age and they need help. I, for one, can attest to this. I've been in places where I've had a negative mindset or poor outlook on things, and it's certainly not something that's easy to overcome on your own. And the hardest part about getting out of those dark places is talking to someone and making those first steps. Today's video sponsor, BetterHelp, is an awesome option for those of you who do not feel like you have someone you can rely on. They have a huge staff of licensed therapists who are trained to listen to what's going on in your life and offer advice. First, you go to their site. You can use my link, betterhelp.com/aTrippyFarmer. They will ask you a few questions, and BetterHelp will then match you to a professional who has years of experience helping people with struggles similar to your own. You can do it all from your phone or computer via phone call, video chat, or messaging, however you feel is most comfortable. It is the easiest possible way to start talking to a therapist, safe and sound in your own domain. Listen up, folks. This is a great time if you or someone you know or love needs an extra helping hand or listening ear. go to betterhelp.com/aTrippyFarmer or use aTrippyFarmer when you're signing up at BetterHelp and start getting the help you need to climb out of some of those dark places that you're at. The first steps are the most important. I promise you, you can turn things around, and BetterHelp is here to assist you if they can in any way. Follow the links. Thanks to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video. Now back to the regularly scheduled programming. It's a little bit of a delayed start this morning. Couldn't get the Hagee out because Skylar from Alliance Tractor was here looking at the planter and planter tractor we just hooked up yesterday. Didn't really want to interrupt him. He finished that up, fixed a valve and a fitting on here, looked at one of the units having a downforce issue, which was a result of an end of the season PIP kit or product warranty improvement on the planter. And then he also checked the alternator on the tractor and the battery, determined both were good, and maybe I left something on longer than I thought I did, or it was a one-off that it didn't want to start, because they seem to be testing fine, which I guess is good news. He also was able to provide clarification on this electrical harness right here. He said that this powers the John Deere Service Advisor system on the planter, which sends diagnostic information from the planter directly to John Deere, like our dealership would be able to see the error codes on the planter. The tractor will still be able to see those error codes without this, and the harness to make this work on the newer tractor was $500 plus labor. So we opted to just not use that. I'll duct tape over it, maybe label it, and be done with it, because I'm not sure letting this dealership know that the planter's row 11 isn't planning is worth $500, because we usually have to fix that on our own. I interrupted myself yesterday. I was going to tell you all a story about mounting these screens here. On my planter tractor, I mount the second monitor up here in the top right corner because you spin over, it's in the perfect spot. I engineered this master plan. I was like, oh, I'm going to get them out here. It's going to be awesome. You're going to be able to see both things. And push came to shove. I thought about who was going to be operating this planter tractor, and overcomplicating the monitor mounting seemed like a waste of time. It would be lost on my dad to have some fancy mount over here, waste all this money, get this extended monitor or lengthy cable, when he probably just wants it in the corner, out of the way, and just those fancy, over-the-top, nerdy things that I like to do are kind of wasted on him. Troy at Alliance Tractor, our salesman, gave me a bit of an explanation of how this Command Pro works. Basically, there's multiple different ways to move it around. You've got a safety button on the back. That's what releases it. So before you go any direction, you got to do that. You see how the park came off? It's because I was hitting that. If you go forward, it uses your dial speed. If you go back, it uses your dial speed. You can flick it left and use set speed. So we could set speed 1 at 3 miles an hour and speed 2 at, let's say, 12 for planting corn. You set that, you get going, and you just flick it, and it resumes the speed. So I think if I give this some time, I'm gonna wish I had this in the other planter tractor. Oh! So right now we are in the straight up and down range, and it's going off of this dial speed, which is set to 20 miles an hour. My sensor speed here is set to 1, so if I just flick this, it goes to 1. If I flick it left and go forward, it shifts me forward. If I hit 2, wait. Oh, if I hit 1, okay, now it's trying to go, oh my gosh, that's a little too quick. But it makes sense if you don't think about it. It'll be nice one of these days. I'm doing a little driver's ed in the parking lot this morning. It's a little more forgiving than figuring it out on the first day in the field when you're running this thing. Yeah, just mark me down as needs improvement. Both of our planter tractors do have the premium 4.0 auto steer activations because they have the signature edition cabs that comes standard with those tractors. And by standard, I mean you pay for it when you buy it, but you don't have to pay for it every year. Anyways, that has the turn automation in it, so maybe we'll try and set that up this year, see if it's as good as some people say it is. Might as well grease the boom while we're changing the oil. I've got all the supplies I need to change the oil in the Hagee, just not the experience. This will be a first for me. Might take longer than usual, and I'm not usually very fast in the first place, even when I do know what I'm doing, so you're along for the ride. don't see the oil filter yet, but I do believe I see the drain. I think this is our drain right there. Where's that filter? I believe she holds about 6 gallons of oil. Looking at it. All right, folks. It's all or nothing here. Sometimes I even impress myself. Look at that. Hardly even made a mess. And I've got the washer and nut right here. Plug. It's probably a more appropriate term. Might have spoken a little too soon and not humbly enough on that one. It's always good to have a spare rag nearby to clean up messes. While I wait for this to drain, I have to give my regular commentary on what's worth changing, what's not worth changing every year. That bucket right there is like $500 or $600 of the specific oil that goes into the hubs. Each hub is supposed to have an annual oil change. Obviously that's an expensive part, so it makes sense to change it every year. That should give me 3 or 4 years, so that's only, say, $150 roughly. Oil filter, you should change oil every year. That seems to be a common understanding. That's cheaper to change oil as preventative maintenance than to put a new engine in. Good point. Fuel filter, I mean, that's kind of borderline. We're getting high quality fuel. It's also refiltered at the pump. I don't know that you need to change fuel filters every year, although again, your fuel goes to your injectors. Your injectors are the lifeblood of your engine. They provide the fuel to the chamber to expand. So again, is it a cheap maintenance thing? I don't know. We regularly change fuel filters, although we don't change them on everything every year. Sometimes we skip a year. And then I've got my primary and secondary air filter. Primary makes sense to change every year. It captures a lot of dirt and dust going through the fields. The secondary, which is basically your backup filter, filters anything that doesn't get caught in the primary filter. You probably don't have to change it yearly, although I'm going to go ahead and change it since I bought the filter. They say that anytime you pull the secondary air filter, you should always change it because you don't want to risk that seal, which is the last barrier between the filters and the engine intake getting dirty. I was wrong. This is the oil filter. That was something else. This seems like a precarious way to take this off right below it. I'm sure that's got oil in it. Oh, I've got myself in a predicament here. Which hole's putting out more liquid? Chris isn't here today, so I'll just blame him for that. All right, we'll go get the impact on and drive that in. I'm just kidding. I got interrupted by none other than Spider-Man himself, helping do some maintenance on the sprayer right now, and possibly cleaning it, which we could have done a better job cleaning it. He's helping. Love the outfit, buddy. And what are you doing? Are you helping too, you little hunk? You say cheese. Yeah. He always gets these strange nicks on his face from his brother's orneriness. One day he'll get them back. You flex your muscles? Wow! I love that Spidey is rocking the Carhartt hat in the Crocs. That's a combo right there. Quick afternoon update. Almost completely done servicing this. Completely greased it. Fuel and oil filters changed. Didn't change the secondary air filter because it was in almost flawless condition. I didn't see any reason to waste a new filter on that. Greased the booms, adjusted some of the eye bolts over there to straighten the boom out a little bit. And I think other than changing the oil, which is what we're going to do next, we are almost ready to call this thing service for the season. I will highlight that there are a few things that need worked on. Obviously I need some new nozzle bodies, have to put the nozzles on, and a few plumbing issues that have yet to be resolved because I've not ordered parts yet. Not in too much of a hurry, not going to de-winterize this yet. There's still a lot of frozen mornings in the forecast. Don't really want to get ahead of myself and lose sleep every time it gets below 30 degrees. First time ever doing something like this. We'll see how it goes. Oh wow. off to a better start than I was expecting. So far so good. The only unfortunate part is you have to have them lined up correctly to get the drain on the bottom. Two of them right now, diagonal from each other, are lined up right. I'm gonna fix them, fill them up, then I'll have to roll around to get the other two. I'm also open to suggestions for better ways to fill this than what I'm about to do. Don't particularly want to show you this because I'm bound to make a mess. And this oil is expensive. Uh-oh. Nope. Horrible start. Basically, once it starts running out of that hole, we got enough in it. There's got to be a better way than what I'm doing. What was it? Okay, I got to do 3 more of them. Wish me luck. It's been another beautiful day to work on equipment. Got up into the 60s. Can't ask for much more. I love this weather. It does appear that Dad did some rearranging in here. Looks like he moved the vertical till back to the south end, and now we freed up some space here in the middle, which was greatly needed. Just a fun little positive side to the video. Old crop corn is under $4 locally cash. Got a 3 on front of it. That's always lovely. We should have priced more of it before last year at $6 and not sat on so much, because we still got a lot of unsold corn. Not like we're going bankrupt or anything, but still it stings a little bit to have missed out on that opportunity. The silver lining is that there is a lot of marketing year left. We haven't even planted the new crop, so there can still be highs and lows. We'll see what happens. We were due for a little bit of a downturn after 3 years of just ridiculous profits. It all averages out over time. Planter is in the shed. Last order of business is cleaning this mess off of the side-by-side so we can map if it dries off. Next time, don't go out when it's still muddy. We won't have to do this. Got the windows cleaned off on the Commander, and now Lenny, Allie, and Graham are letting the chickens out to roam for the first time. We locked the dogs in because we're not sure if the border collies will attack the chickens or not. I don't know if the chickens want to play tag with you. Lenny's in his element today.
Let's try the big one. Hey Bob, hey Lynn. Flap. Up and down. Try the backwards. I see that. I want that one.
Alrighty everyone, that's going to be it for today's video. We're just out here chilling, watching the chickens explore the yard for the first time. It's actually rather entertaining, especially for Lenny. He loves seeing them. What are they doing in the yard right now?
Put boogie away, bird?
Yeah, are they flapping their wings?
Yeah.
Can you flap your wings?
Oh, not me.
Pretty entertaining stuff. Anyways, I'm gonna take off. As always, I greatly appreciate every single one of you continuing to tune in and support the channel. Your viewership means the world to me. Catch you all in the next episode. Until then, make sure you like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to see more, comment down below if you have any questions. You know I love to talk about farming. Have a great day, everyone.
Peace.